Yesterday, although I am repeating some portion, we wanted to calculate or estimate what is minimum of asankhya or Jaganya Parita Sankhya. So for that purpose, we say that the procedure outlined in the scriptures is this, that we have to construct an Anvastha Kund. Anvastha means variable. It is variable. You will see soon how it is variable. But the first Kunda or pit will be 1 lakh of the dimension of Jambudvip. That is 1 lakh in diameter, Yujan in diameter, and 1 lakh 1,000. I think this is not coming here. And 1,000 Yujan in the depth. That is the Anvastha Kund. And that is to be filled up with rape seeds, sesame seeds.
Unit क्या है साहब?
So that it forms a heap also. You must have seen that in the figure. It forms a heap. And generally we do it, when we take some material out, then a heap is also formed. Nemi Chandra assumes that the circumference is the height of this conical heap is 3 lakh by 11. 3 he takes as pi. So perimeter he takes as 3 lakh, and divided by 11 is the height of this. And on this basis, he calculated using the correct formulas. The first he calculates the cylindrical portion. This cylindrical portion, that is our usual formula, pi d square h upon 4, pi 1 lakh diameter square, 1,000 depth divided by 4, Yojan cube. Then he determines it as a 45-digit number. He has calculated all of the 45-digit numbers. 1.979, let us say 2 into 10 raised to 44. To this, he adds the conical portion. Conical portion's volume also he calculates as per this formula, assuming pi is equal to 3, and that comes to 10 raised to 45. That is a 46-digit number. When both these are added, you will see this is the total number of seeds in the first Anavastha Kund. This number he has determined totally, completely. But further he could not proceed. What is the procedure described but not calculated? And it's impossible to calculate also, as you will see soon, actually. So the seeds are thrown one by one, starting from Jambudvip, in the Jambudvip first, second in Lavan Samudra, third in Dhatki Khand, fourth in Kalot Samudra, fifth in Pushkar Dvip, then Pushkar Samudra, etc., etc. Like that, till the last Swayambhu Raman sea. Up to that, it will be thrown. But there are, we are aware, there are Asankhyat Dvip and seas, samudras. So, I have taken N0 as the total number of seas, which is calculated. That is a 46-digit number you have seen. So, the diameter of a new Anavastha Kund is to be prepared. We'll name it N1. N1 because there are N1 seeds in that. That will have a diameter of that sea or island where the last N0 seed will fall. And that can be calculated. Diameter of this island will be 2 N0 minus 3 into 1,000 1 lakh Yujan. So, I am taking lakh Yujan as unit, and I am approximating 2 N0 minus 3. Now, 2 raised to N0 is such a mind-boggling figure that 3 can be easily. So, this is just of the order of that is. So, prepare another pit with this diameter and 1,000 Yujan deep only again, and fill it with seeds in the same manner with number of seeds N1. No, it is very simple how to calculate N1 theoretically, again, not mechanically. Because we know that N1 upon N0, because height depth is same. Sorry. depth is same, it will depend upon the square of diameter. So n1 upon n0 is equal to volume of pitch x1, volume of pitch x0, square of diameter x1, square of diameter x0. So it comes to simply 2 raised to 2 n0, n0. Okay. So this is n1, but process doesn't stop here. n1 is such a mind-boggling figure that n0 becomes negligible before it. It is simply, you can neglect it. It is so simple. That means if it is, we can say 1 against 1 trillion, even that will be also not an exaggeration, actually. So n1 is so big, but it is, we will give it by 2 raised to 2 n0 into n0. From the previous slide, it comes. Continuing this process, now again, we start after filling the n1 seeds in the second Anvastha Kund, the seeds are thrown in the further islands and seas till n1 is also exhausted. N1 seeds are exhausted. And at that time, prepare third Anvastha Kunda, which is so big, that is n2. So the same formula, same calculation, n2 is equal to 2 raised to 2 n1 into n1. n3 is equal to similarly. Lastly, the last kunda will be n0 minus 1, because there are n0 kundas. n0 series means n0 kunda, and that is 2 raised to n0 minus 2 into n0 minus 2. So what our scriptures prescribe, all these series taken together will be the minimum of asankhyat, and minus 1 will be the Utkrishta Parita Sankhya. Sorry, Utkrishta Sankhya, not Parita Sankhya, Utkrishta Sankhya. So A is equal to n0 plus n1 plus n2. All these figures are so big. Now, very strange thing you will see. n0 is negligible before n1. n0 plus n1 is nothing before n2. Even it is smaller. And similarly, n3 is so big that n0 plus n1 plus n2 can be easily ignored. So ultimately it comes to n0 minus 1. This is just giving the order. Exactly calculations, it may not be same, but it is so big that we can safely ignore it, sir. So this only I have shown here, but there is one notation we are following, that is height of the tower. How we represent numbers 10 plus 10 raised to 10 is nearly equal to 10 raised to 10. Because 10 can be ignored. 10 plus 10 raised to 10 plus 10 raised to 10 raised to 10. We can ignore the first two terms and third term only we can retain, isn't it? So this we are showing 10 raised to 10 is shown by in the notes notation. This comes very handy because we cannot go on adding the height of the tower of 10. It is called tower of 10. Suppose there are 100 tens, then it will even go beyond the page or so. So it is written as 10, 2 arrows and 2. This is arrow notation by David Nutt, a very great mathematician in US. I think recently he expired or something like that. Then 10 raised to 2 raised to 10 raised to 2, that is 10, 2 arrows 2 raised to 10, 2 arrows 2 is 10 arrows 3. This you can also work out. It is very simple. So I am now coming to second Anvastha Kund, where n1 is equal to 2 raised to 2 n0 into n0. Now we have determined n0 as 2 into 10 raised to 44. That is also a very big quantity. But 2 raised to that quantity is still bigger, isn't it? Into 2 into 10 raised to 44. Again, a big number, a big factor, 2 raised to 10 raised to 44 is so negligible before this number that you can ignore that and simply you can say that n1 is the order of 2 raised to 2 into 10 raised to 44. This you can safely say. This is the mathematics of large numbers, uncountable numbers, asankhyat numbers, actually. Yeah. Then I leave some details. Those who are conversant with mathematics, they can just follow that. But I am coming to that. So what will happen? Ultimately, the in north pit, Anvastha Kund, will contain the uh, asankhyat seeds, and that will be 10 raised to 10 raised to 10 raised to 10. How long it will go on? It will go on for 2 into 10 raised to 44. Such a big number. The height of the tower of 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 will be so mind-bogglingly gargantuan number, you can say. This is the minimum of asankhyat innumerables. And a minus 1, Mr. Modi, I will be answering your query that how infinity minus 1, you have correctly raised the query, but it is ordinals infinity, not cardinal infinity. That I will come. It is in contrast theory, it is very clearly mentioned. Yeah. Some variations were done by the subsequent acharyas, which especially karma siddhanta people, they have made. They thought that this A is also nothing. So they said, for example, they prepare 2 shalaka kund. Now, what is the procedure? When all the seeds are thrown and the number of seeds in north pit are there, then you put a seed in the shalaka kund. It is a measurement kund which is a constant. It is of the size of Jambudvip. One seed for all these seeds together, as a token, they are filled. You put a seed in the shalaka kund. Continue the process. Again, the bigger and bigger anavastha kund will be created. And when N1 seeds are totally thrown, then you put it in one more in the shalaka kund. This way go on up to indefinite. So what will happen? How many kundas will be there total? Shalaka kund, one filled up. Second shalaka kund is also filled up. So there will be total not pits, but not square pits. Not square pits. So what will be the value of A? A is equal to n naught square minus 1. That is 10. Height of 10 is about n naught square I have taken. 1 is we can easily ignore. N naught square, so much. That means 2 raised to about 2 into 10 raised to 88 or something like that. So many, such will be the height of this thing. This was also not felt proper by some acharyas. They said, no, there will be 3 kundas, shalaka kundas, measurement pits. They say they are this is given in Jiva Samas. Aniyogdwara Sutra contains only one shalaka kunda. Jiva Samas of 5th century says that there is shalaka kund and pratishalaka kund. While the subsequent acharyas, they say no, there will be 3 shalaka kunds. That is shalaka kund, pratishalaka kund, and mahashalaka kund. And this way, this process will continue till the mahashalaka kund is also totally filled up. So there will be total and not cube of the pits. The number of seeds in that is so big that we cannot imagine, unimaginable actually. But the height of the tower will be 10. This will be equal to 10 raised to 10 raised to 10 raised to. It will be of the order of 10 raised to 133. No number in even the number of protons in the universe, Eddington has calculated as 10 raised to 80. So this is far higher than that. Yeah. Now we are coming to this is the but naturally even we cannot calculate in N1. Any amount of all the supercomputers are connected together, like in the case of pi, there we have come up to 10 trillion digits, but here it is much more than 10 trillion, 10 trillion raised to 10 trillion, it may be, isn't it? So nobody can calculate it, so Nemichandra could not, but he indicated the process by which this number, and A is so high, and A minus 1 is the maximum Sankhya. That way. Okay. Now, there is one more thing, that is temporal measures. Before that, this is, I wanted to, in the yesterday's talk, when Mr. Bhandariji and Anupamji, etc., were saying that Planck length and Planck time, etc., I had come across a very ancient verse in the our scriptures. It is in Mahabandha, it is in Visheshavashyak Bhashya, it is in Dhavala, so it is in Gomatsar, it is, I will just read it, and I was very much baffled with that. I was not able to agree with that actually. Suhumoya hoi kalo, sukshma, kali sukshma, suhumoya hoi kalo, tatto suhumottarayam havai ketam. But space, that is length, parmanu, kheta, that is still sukshma, much more sukshma. And they have given a beautiful simile. Angula sedhi mette osapinio asankhya. In one angul, the number of points, number of parmanus, we can place parmanus, number of parmanus will be equal to asankhya times of usapini and avsarpini, utsarpini and avsarpini. Usme jitne samay hai utna hai. And you know samaya, so is the smallest unit, like Planck time, ours is samaya, and like Planck length, ours is this parmanu. Modi sahab aapne kaha hai ki it is parmanu is also measure of length also, the basic unit of length as per the Jaina. Okay. So Planck length is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 35, while Planck time is 5.39 into 10 raised to minus 44. So I was thinking this is exactly opposite of what is stated in this Gatha actually. But no, sir. Here units are meter and second. So if we take it as samay and Parmanu's dimensions, or I can say, suppose let us take Planck dimension also. If we take, instead of meter, we take string dimension, which is the smallest thing, which is yet to be discovered and all that, experimentally verified. But I am taking 10 raised to minus 35. In that case, you will see that Planck time becomes 5.39 into 10 raised to minus 44, but Planck length becomes 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 70 strings. We can say strings. So it is mind-bogglingly bigger than this. And then this Gatha comes true. That Suhumottar, Sukshmatam is the Kshetra. Definitely Kal is Sukshma, but this is Sukshmatam. Okay, this is just the diversion I am going to. So we are coming to the next topic. Next topic is about time. Time, generally, you must have read in all our scriptures that time is measured, Asankhya time is measured in Palyopam and Sagropam. For example, Avsarpini is 10 Koda Kodi Sagropam. Rishabnath's life is 84 lakh cube years, etc., isn't it? So, but the Asankhya measurement is done by Palyopam and Sagropam. That is, that's why they are called Upamaman, simile measures. By simile only we can describe them. Age of gods and hellish beings are generally given in Palyopam and Sagropam. You can see so many gods, presiding gods, etc. They are of the age of 3 palya. Their life is fixed, 3 palya, etc., 2 palya, 1 palya, etc., etc. Sagropam is also there, Those in 31st, 7th hill, they can go up to 31 Sagropam also, actually. I don't know. So, each of the above, these measures are based on three types of palya. Uddhar palya, Adha palya, and Kshetra palya. But they are based firstly on Vyavhar palya. And that measurement is just like our Anavastha Kunda measurement. For example, Tiloy Pannati and Nemichandra and in Shwetambar tradition, Malaygiri gives these calculations. A palya of right circular cylinder. Now it is not Jambudvipa size. It is a very small pit compared to Jambudvip. It is of diameter 1 yojan and height 1 yojan. And it is to be filled with a 7-year-old child's hair tips, not hair, length, not string. It's tip only, you can say. Hair tips, isn't it? So, of 1 to 9 days. Yes, correct. And it is so compactly filled. It is so compactly filled that it is described that even if a Chakravarti's Sena, Chakravarti's army can pass over it with 84 lakh elephants, 84 lakh without having anything affecting it, actually. Okay. So, that volume is calculated. Pit's volume is in yojan. Yojan cube is 19 upon 24 cubic Praman yojans. No, yojan cube as per Shwetambar tradition and Praman yojan as per the Digambar tradition. One Praman yojan is taken as 500 ordinary yojans. Okay. So this is that pit. You can just see. Hair tips. Now, in 1 yojan, so many hair tips can come. 16106, 127, 36000. So, one hair tip is equal to 1 divided by this big number. This big number. So, if every one hair tip is removed after every 100 years, the time required will be the palyopam. So that is 1 year is equal to so much hair tips. Then the pit contains so many pits. This calculation you can go through afterwards, actually. Or they are in Gomatsar, they are in Malaygiri's commentary on Anyogdwara Sutra. Anyogdwara Sutra gives a very scientific account of theory of infinity that way. So, in each tip, if each tip is 100 years, we get, as per Malaygiri's figure, 3.3 into 10 raised to 38 years. 38 years. But as per Digambara tradition, multiply this number by 500 cube, so we will come to 4.13 into 10 raised to 46 years, a 47-digit number. What is my personal opinion? Earlier scriptures, Acharang, etc., all those scriptures, they don't mention about Uddhar Palyopam, Adha Palyopam, Kshetra Palyopam, etc. So earlier the values may be this only of Vyavhar Palyopam only. But when they found that this is too less than the Shirsha Prahelika or Hasta Prahelit, they decided that no, then each hair tip should be divided into asankhyat parts. And then each part should be taken out after every 100 years, like that. So, unimaginable, we cannot say. That is my, of course, opinion. The Sagropam is also divided in 3 classes: Uddhar Sagropam, Adha Sagropam, Kshetra Sagropam, and each of Sagropam is equal to 10 Koda Kodi. That means 10 raised to 15 times the corresponding Palyopam. Uddhar Palyopam into 10 raised to 15 is Uddhar Sagropam, etc., like that. For example, you can pity these people. The lifespan of Lokanti gods is 12 Adha Sagoropam. But what they will be doing for such a long time, only reading and doing swadhyaya of the books, or the seventh, their plight is so bad, seventh hell being, their lifetime there in the seventh hell is 33 Adha Sagoropam. Now, another, this is important for the subsequent discussion, because we are going now to the infinitesimal side also. That's why we are. Now, Ardha Cheda is nothing but our modern log 2. And Varga Shalaka, because these terms are coming in Gomats are often. That's why I'm just making clarifying it. Part of the Alokik Ganit. Varga Shalaka is nothing but log 2, modern log 2. And all the rules of logarithm, all the rules of exponentiation are derived, indexation, etc., are derived in our scriptures. Anyodvar Sutra or Dhavala or many of our scriptures. So Ardhached, but they have defined it very nicely. Ardhached is the number of times a quantity can be halved. 16 can be made half, till we come to 1 in 4 times, isn't it? So 2 square is equal to 4, 4 square is 16, 16, 4 times. And 256 can be halved, made half 8 times. So that becomes Ardha Cheda of 256. That means log to 16 is 4. Log to 256 is 8. This is a simple our modern notation. Varga Shalaka is log to, but that is also defined beautifully. They say the number of quantity is the number of times 2 can be successively squared to obtain the quantity. For example, 2 square is equal to 4. 4 square is equal to 16. 16 square is equal to 256. 256 square is 65, 536. So, Varga Shalaka of 16, log to 16 is 2. Varga Shalaka of 256 is just 3. Varga Shalaka of 65, 536 is just 4. So, these are some rules I am quoting. But even complicated rules are framed by Veer Sena. In some of my articles, you will find that. All the basic rules of log 2 and log 2 were worked out. That is log of m into n is equal to log of m plus log of n. These all you know. Even here some complicated formulas I have given comparatively. I am saying complicated because for that age, about 1,000 years back or 1,500 years back, from that point of view, Veer Sena works out of logarithm with base 3 and 4, etc., and indicates that any base can be used for a logarithm clearly. We will come very shortly in that also. Now, all the basic rules, yes. Now we are coming to where these quantities are used. Now the karma bondage is exponentially increasing or decreasing, vriddhi or hani. Similarly, nirjara, that decreasing also. Nirjara is also going on exponentially, either in geometric series or in the squares, cubes, etc., in that ratio, geometrical ratio. So this vriddhi, they have in 6, that's why it's called Shasthanpati. Vriddhi or hani is of 6 types. Ananta bhag vriddhi. That is, you will remember our formula of E, Euler's number, 1 plus 1 upon n raised to n as n tends to infinity. Same way, Ananta bhag vriddhi, that if the quantity is Q, it increases exponentially 1 plus minus 1 upon I, that is infinity, n tends to infinity, into, but our people said there can be another infinity, I1 also it can be, and you will see the consequences, very interesting. Similarly, Asankhya bhag vriddhi, you are able to see that 1 plus minus 1 upon A. If Hani, it is minus. If Vriddhi, it is plus sign. You have to take. And Asankhya, 1 upon A means 1 upon Asankhya, raised to Asankhya. Now these numbers are so big that for practical purposes, you can take it as infinity also. Doesn't matter. Sankhyat Bhag Vriddhi and Hani, Vriddhi and Hani. Now, another type of Shasthan Patit is Sankhyat Gunavriddhi. This is geometric series. Q into sigma 1, Q into A1, Q into I1, and it goes on increasing in the squares and all that type of exercise. Q into, or Hani means Q divided by sigma 1, the sigma square, sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, sigma 3 squares, etc. And similarly, Asankhya Bhag Vriddhi and Ananta Bhag Vriddhi. What I want to show, this I will take here. I just want to comment, though I have not entered in this. See, 1 plus 1 upon n raised to n tends to infinity. This he tried to calculate, but only these two infinities he took different, he could not come to E. But in that process, he came to natural logarithm of 2. And you learn natural logarithm of 3, natural logarithm of 4. And the procedure outlined is so that it is very general. We can continue like that, actually. And how much labor he must have taken, unimaginable. But time is not, because he uses binomial theorem and works out all this. Now, the maximum of Ananta. Now, modern people, modern mathematicians, like Mr. Modi, they object. They say, your maximum Ananta is also, which I have denoted by G here, because our minimum Ananta is F. So F raised to F is equal to G, let us say. Is not real infinite, but a large number like Graham number 33 Ramsey. These are very mind-boggling numbers, gargantuan numbers in the modern mathematics, which are uncountable. It is designated as uncountable because it is simply not possible to calculate that. But to be fair with our acharyas also, they said that. But you will find in Gomatsar, Dhavala doesn't give anything. He assumes that you know all these things. And he only discusses further higher philosophical things he discusses. Virsena. But Gomatsar explains very clearly that even this maximum of Ananta is not Ananta, real Ananta. He says only Keval Gyan is real infinite. Real infinite. So they say, to this G, if you add K minus G, you will get K. Obvious, of course, G plus K minus G is equal to K, actually. So you add another K minus G terms to the G, then you will get the real infinity. So to be fair with them, they had the idea. They knew that this is not real infinity. Now, but Adyogdar Sutra, Bhagavati Sutra, etc., they had made it significant. They say there is no maximum Ananta. Simply it will continue. Means Ananta is not reachable. Infinity is not reachable, is it? Now, I am coming to this Shatkan Chagam, about 200 AD, 200 AD, some 1900 years prior. He gives this formula, indicates this formula. I'm not saying gives this formula, because it calculates the number of letters in Agama. And I have, in my previous lecture, I have indicated also that because there are 64 consonants, vowels, and colophones, it is the number of maximum number can be only 1 letter number, 2 letter number, 3 letter numbers, words, etc. So total will be 2 raised to 64 minus 1. So this formula is indicated clearly. Similarly, Anyogdvar Sutra contains several examples of the formula. Several examples of NK is equal to combination of k things out of n as this formula. Everywhere it is used in Anuyik frequent places, but not stated. It is specifically stated in these scriptures, but they are from 5th century onwards. Pancha Kalpa Bhashya, Virsena, Mahavira, both of 8th, 9th century, they also specifically stated the formula and worked out so many things. Actual value of ln2 was worked out by Nemichandra by this process only. Nemichandra all specifically state the formula. Okay. Now here, so they found it very difficult how to exhibit this in numbers. So they say upama. Upama means algebra. Assign some letter to the quantity. And they started, the first time it was started, I feel it must have started after Nemichandra. Because prior to that, nowhere it is there. Even in Nemichandra, this is not there. In his commentaries, it is there. Commentaries by others, it is there. And they are all commentaries from 11th century onwards. 11th century. So I think after 10th or 11th century, this notation has started. Earlier, it was a rhetoric algebra. Means Virsen has spent about 50 pages on proving that the number of mithatvi jivas, deluded souls, is in the higher part of the Ananta. He has so much he has covered. But that is all words in words. So it becomes very difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand. I have to work out actually from each and every word and all that, and then come to that. Then next moment was initial letter to show the numerical symbolism, and that you will find much in Alokik Ganit. For example, Suchangal there is a Su or one. Pratarangul, that is world plane. It is world plane by 2 or pra. Ghanangul by gha or 3, like that. Jagat Shredi by 4. Loka Prasar by low. Loka Prasar, low by low. Ghana low. Total 343. Ghana Raju. Ghana low or cubic inches. R for Raju. 7 R for world line. 49 R square naturally for world plane. And 343 R cube for Loka universe. Then other symbols started coming. Because this is also everywhere, they cannot write all these letters, etc. Because if you go to our karma literature, it is so complicated that even if we use those earlier notation, it will be simply not possible to understand this. So they came to the real symbolic algebra, which is, I feel, is 14th, 15th century. Because Keshavarni's books and Tiloy Panditi's prose portion is all with these symbols. How world line is represented by Suchangul is one single line. World plane, 2 single lines. Loka, 3 single lines, one below each other. Raju is how much? 7 Raju is equal to world line. So a line and below it is 7. Now earlier, the notation of division was not 1 upon 2. That is, there is a line between 1 and 2. If you write just 7 below the line, it means the word line divided by 7. No need to write, put a line there. World plane divided by 49 or Ghanalok divided by 343, etc. Like that, they will, Raju will be denoted by this. P for Palyupam, V for Vargashalaka, log 2 P, Che for Ardhached, log 2, Re as minus Re. The minus sign was not invented here. So Re means Rina is deduct. L for Laksha, L for Laksha, because all those 5 digits they go on writing, it may not be possible for them to minimize that. Ko 2 for Koda Kodi. Anko means Antah Koda Kodi, which is a number greater than Kodi and less than Koda Kodi. Somewhat like this, not exactly like this, but I will show you the exact symbol, but somewhat like our delta is the sign for Asankhya and sigma for Sankhya. Operational. 2 plus 3 was written as 2, a line below 3. Now, in today it is 2 upon 3, but earlier it is 3 plus 2, like that. It should be correct. 2 into 3 is 2, a line, and 3, or 2 gunile 3, 2 guna 3. So the first letter of operation is used. 3 minus 2 as, this is a very strange symbol, 3, a line, and because it is the minus, this this symbol is given, 2 crow, like that. Or 3 via 2, via means via, minus. 3 divided by 2 is simply like this, or 3 bha 2, bhagakar. Square root is as mool, vargamul. Double square root is mu 2. Triple square root is mu 3, etc. And Virshana goes up to 8th root, 16th root, and something like that, actually. Now, I'm coming to this. This is one glimpse I'm giving. I could not photograph it properly. So, just to explain you, this is the quantity given. And in modern notation, what it will be? It will be simply log 2p upon asankhyat minus 1. 6 means asankhyat. This symbol 1 and this crow means 6 minus 1. Log 2p minus 1. Asankhyat multiplied by 2 of asankhyat and asankhyat. So we can just cancel it also, like our modern this thing. And ultimately it will come to log 2p minus log 2 of Palyupam divided by asankhyat minus 1. Actually, symbols are like this. See, these are all our brackets. This is Sankhyat into 2, minus 1. Then this bracket, that multiplied by Sankhyat, and that bracket minus 1. Again, this bracket minus 1. And then bracket, this whole number, you will see, this line, minus 4. So bracket, what we find today, similarly, but they had not that modern symbolism. And that is why the difficulty is in understanding the commentaries of Gomatsar, the mathematics of Gomatsar, Alokik Ganit. But it is not simple. If one undertakes this task of putting it into the modern notation, it will be very simpler and it will be very easily understandable. Of course, there are processes like binomial processes, exponential processes, all that, Shasthan Patis, etc., etc. For that also, our acharyas have used Malaygiri has 25-page table he has used, where 1 is Sankhya, 2 is Sankhya, 3 is like that, it goes on actually. And from that they have explained. There are even shorter tables also to understand all these Shasthan Patit and all that, etc. Because Kashayas can be increased infinite times, Asankhya times, and in number of times, etc. So those 6 processes they are given, and that's why it has become very difficult. And compounded with this such type of notation, it becomes very difficult. This is a modern notation minus. I have this quantity is subtracted from this quantity, subtracted from this quantity. So ultimately equal to this much. This is a very simple process I have photographed and shown you here. But if it is put in the modern, it will be very, very, very simple. Very simple. And then people will understand the mathematics of Gomatsar also. Nowadays, there is a big tradition for taking classes on Gomatsar's Karma Kand and Jiv Kand, etc. But they omit mathematics. They omit mathematics. Or they just reproduce these diagrams there actually. So nobody understands anything. But if really some scholar undertake this, he can do a human service to our history of our Jaina mathematics, actually. I think with this, I close my presentation. So we'll go to the question answer. But before that,